Hello, this is your Black Indian here, sitting in sunshine. Um, I'll start with my prayer. I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. I'm covered by my ancestors, those that dwell in the light, as well as the dark, as well as other entities that look out for my best interest. And of course, I'm driving, and it just got through storming, and the sun has come out, and oh, what a beautiful day! And it's not real hot. Um, this is on a lighter note. I know I can be kind of intense, with all the shit I've been through. You know, how could you not be intense? But I just want to say, on a lighter note, on a positive note, I mean this from the pits of my heart. I want to thank all the people in Memphis that helped street babies. There are so many regular, schmegular people that help with dogs, taking them in, keeping them, just adopting them themselves. A lot of them that feed in the streets. They don't ask for anything. They just go out there and do it on their own. Or they just find them and keep them. They're not hoarding or anything. They take them in. Or they look after them. Or they see after them. It's actually a scary thing to find a dog. Because when you find them, it's like, what the fuck? What the hell am I supposed to do? I mean, your money might not be right. You might not know where to put them. You don't know if your other dogs are going to like them. You don't want to always put them together. That's not a good idea, by the way. You just don't know. I mean, for us regular people, and I consider myself a regular person, finding an animal it can be scary. It really is, because it's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck what do I do? And it's the same way for me. And that's what I have to remind you, I'm the one that was dragged out of my house in the middle of the night by crooked cops because the dog pound wanted to steal our dogs that were rescued. I was held hostage for 7 days, and illegally and unlawfully, they broke in my house several times. The police did, and the dog pound. And then I was stalked. I've been through hell. But even for me, taking in dogs, the way we ended up with 19 is I already had 4. 2 that I had adopted from the pound. Cochise had parvo from the pound. And through the grace of God and the doctors, we made it through. So I adopted Angel Baby and Cochise, and I didn't have a 501c3, didn't have anything like that. And then I had started getting on the rescue pages, and we ended up with Riley. Riley was skinned. He was like a bag of bones walking. And they had video up, and they were like, please save him, save him, save him. Somebody help, save him, save him. Well, somebody saved him. And I ended up fostering, and he never left. And actually, it was probably meant to be because he has some issues. He was an actual bait dog. You hear about bait dogs, but rarely, I think most people ever actually end up with one. He was a bait dog, still got the scars. Honey Bunny, again, I was not doing any rescue, nothing. Someone threw her on the side of the house. And that morning we got up, we thought it was a cat or something. I'm not a cat person. And it was Honey Bunny. And she actually had parvo. It was the end stages of it. It was getting better. Her poop, when she pooped, it was like rocks. She was literally, you hear about that saying, I shit at rocks, or they shit at rocks. She actually shit it out, like they were like rocks. She only could hold down sweet potatoes. She lived off sweet potatoes for about a month. And then gradually she got better. Somebody dumped her there. I don't know how, because wait a minute. I don't know if Riley came first or Honey Bunny. I can't remember. and it was like 100 degrees outside when Honey Bunny was dumped. So I had 4 dogs already. So when y'all know the story about Susie, and she called the pound on this lady who I ran into that needed help with 12 dogs. Well, that's how we automatically had 10, because the God wouldn't let me leave those dogs there to die like she did. So I slowly pulled each dog. So bam, we had 10. And then 4, and not that I have anything to explain, but I'm breaking it down for you. 4 of those, 4 more were puppies. And when I say puppies, I'm talking about, my hands aren't that big. They were this big. 3 of them were in the woods. They were so full of worms. And I have pictures. They're kind of gross. I don't think I want to post them. They had worms so bad that I had to deworm them 4 different times. I mean, they were full of worms. And the other puppy, Destiny, was left in a plastic bag on the sidewalk. And these low down motherfuckers knew how we got these dogs, because I was always posting it. Someone left her on the sidewalk because there was a field that I was feeding in, and they knew eventually I would come. And I heard this little sound. I was like, what the fuck? And I looked in the bag, and there was Destiny, and she was about this big. So let's see, my 4, the 6, and then 4 puppies. That's 14. The other 5, Lulu was starved to death. She was a skeleton walking. Lulu couldn't even bark. She was in one of those well station things in an area that I was feeding in North Haven. She was so weak she could not bark, and it was getting cold. She was that thin. She was just a skeleton, nothing but skin and bones. Her bark was a whisper. So, and I think I had 1,200 views on that one, but nobody bit. So that's how Lulu came about. Sasha was thin, left in a house that had been abandoned. And if she had continued to get any thinner, it would have been bad. Miss Shelby was a pit bull. I rebuke that, is a pit bull. Now, she was a toss-up. She was a toss-up. Destiny was an informant's dog that left her with us. That was an informant that they sent. And Molly, I'm going to have to do a whole thing on Molly. This video ended up longer than I planned. Molly had an extreme case of sarcoptic mange, very contagious. She was a German Shepherd. She had absolutely no hair. Our vet said it might take a year if her hair ever grew back. But thanks to, I'm a Black Indian. Thanks to mixing herbs up and love and care, we had gotten Molly's hair back in 3 months. They stole her and murdered her immediately. She was not the type of dog that you could... All dogs cannot, quote unquote, be handled. You just don't fuck with everybody's dogs. They're not like that. I found her in an abandoned house. She smelled like yeast. Pure fucking yeast. Those are the 19. There are rescue people with 30 plus dogs in their house. When all that stuff happened, there was a woman who had 65 in her house and 50 in another house. I call that hoarding. But she was holding some for Alexis, pew dirty ass. So that's how we ended up with 19. For a small rescue, 25 or less, to me, is not a lot of dogs. I never cared to be any bigger than that, even from the beginning. And we're, of course, nowhere near that because we're fighting to get our dogs returned. How did I end up talking about that? I don't know. I guess it was meant to be. But yeah, that's how we ended up with 19. So people can make shit seem more than what it is. So you get 6 in one pop. You already got 4, and then you get 4 puppies. You're up to 14. 2 starved to death, Sasha and Lulu. And Molly could not stay there. She would have died. So there was only 2 random dogs. And that was that is Miss Shelby and Ladybug. That's it. I mean, that's not a lot. Um, our dogs were on special diets because everybody has issues. Um, they didn't keep their diets up. They didn't keep Riley on his heartworm treatment. They didn't do anything. You know, they were just low down pieces of shit. But that is part of what I wanted to talk about. But I want to get back to the people in Memphis. Every time I look or we scroll online and you see where people are trying to help. There was 2 puppies on the side of the road in Whitehaven off Carruthers. A lady posted. Hopefully, God willing, they're safe and somebody got them. There's just people out here that do care and they do help. And there's so many that do. And so it just really pisses me off when they, I won't say lie, but stretch the truth and say, people in Memphis don't take care of their dogs. We're just going to send everybody up north. I'm like, damn, there's a lot of people that help with dogs on the streets. A lot. A lot you may not even hear about. So this is just my little 2 cents from the Black Indian here. Power to the people. Saying thank you. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to help. You didn't have to take that dog in. You didn't have to do, but you did. You didn't have to go out and feed that dog. You didn't have to look after him or look over him. But so many people, all walks of life, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Black Indians, all of us are out here just, trying to do God's work. Again, thank you, everyone. It's appreciated. The universe appreciates it. God appreciates it. And I guarantee you the animals appreciate it as well. Peace and blessings. I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. This is Cinnamon Sunshine, your Black Indian. Thank you. Bye-bye.